Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday night broadcast sponsored by DE and Band of Brothers around the world. Got a special guest tonight. Nicole Townsley is our speaker. She's a fourth generation chiropractor. Think about that. Fourth generation chiropractic in her family, married to a chiropractor, got an awesome son. She was just telling me before we opened up that she and Moriarty and her husband all practice within like 3 miles of each other there by Stuart, Florida. She practices in Hogue Sound, Florida. She graduated in 2013 and has been working with her dad since 2013. Been coming to DE since she started with practice with her dad. She's got this weekend, or this 2 weeks ago when we were at DE, we did breaths on the beach together. And then I just watched her play with her son. And I think she was more of a kid than her son was, just playing on the beach and having fun and laughing. And it was just really neat to see the lift her up behind the hood and see the real person that she is. And it was awesome to watch. I think she brought her whole team. She's been kicking it since she got back from DE, and just want to let her tell her story. So let's hear it from Hogue City, Florida. Let's hear it for Nicole. Take over, girl.
Hi. My son just ran by. Thank you for that, Andy. I had a blast at DE this last 2 weekends ago. My son, he's 12, he was able to join us, and we had a blast just playing on the beach. And one of the wonderful things about DE is it allows us the time and space that we don't have in our normal lives to play, to be a child, and to act like a kid. And I love that. I love that about DE. I love that about where we're at with our son right now. But yeah, it was a blast. It was a blast. Starting with an attitude of gratitude, thank you all, everybody, for saying happy birthday to me on Thursday night. That was my actual birthday. I'm 39. So that was a really, really, really cool way to start my new year. And I did get to bring my whole team. I did get to bring my whole team to DE, but they were actually upstairs at that time. They weren't down for the 49 breaths. So I was like trying to hide in the back, and Marilyn got up and was like, "We're gonna sing happy birthday." So I was like totally on my own, and Pete Emlinger was at the end of the aisle. I was like, "Pete, hold me, let me guys sing happy birthday." So thank you. I really, really appreciate that. So what has DE done for me? It has done so much. I am a fourth generation chiropractor, so I was going to DE as a child and a kid and whatnot, but I don't really remember that. So when I started practice with my dad, we started going back a little bit, but not consistently. And my husband's a chiropractor, my sister's a chiropractor, like we've got chiropractors all over the place. And it wasn't until I bought the practice from my dad a couple of years ago, I really dove deep into what's good for me in my practice, what's good for my people. And Paula, when I shouted Paula a couple of years ago, she pulled me aside and she was like, "Hold on, this is not your practice. This is God's practice." And I was like, "Ooh, yep, you're right. This is not my practice. This is God's practice." So in our practice, we get to see a lot of babies and whatnot, but I was able to kind of take over a couple of years ago and become a DE member. And with that commitment, it's paid for. So I go 4 times a year and I get that redipping, Rebecca called it recalibration, which I love. But one of the cool things about DE is that being 4 times a year, it's 4 almost different DEs, especially for me and my schedule and the way that we've done it. April is always my team. We get to be in Florida, we're in South Florida, so we get to drive over. And April is my team. We get to go as a group, my son got to go, and we come together. And what DE allows is a container. So it allows a space and a time to be, whatever that is, which is incredible. And we don't get that, me at least, I don't get that outside of DE. So the idea of a container in the masculine and feminine, so like the feminine is the water, right? The flow, we're energy, we're movement, or I'm a hurricane sometimes, whatever. But the container is that masculine energy that can hold that energy. So for me, DE is my container to rein in my craziness and say, okay, here's a space. Here's a time and a space that you can shed those husks, that you can feel deeply and cry and love and just all of the things that DE allows us to do, which is incredible. because for me, I don't have a chance to do that any other way. So my staff told us as we were heading over this last couple weeks ago, she's like, I love that DE is just a weekend of vibes. We can just vibe. Like whatever we want to do, we do. Whatever we don't do, we don't do. And it was just a vibe. Now I'm a millennial, so I'm like, I don't like vibes. Vibes are like external. It's very like superficial. Just I didn't love it, but we went with it. So we're vibing the whole weekend. Thursday was my birthday, so we got to go over early. We went to Clock Tower Gardens, laid under the trees and the moss and listened to the beautiful bells, and it was just lovely. And get to DE, and we went to beautiful dinner and all of the things, and flowing with the weekend, right? We're just going with vibes and just flowing with the weekend. And it was very obvious at one point in the weekend where we made a plan, which is kind of the only plan that we had, and it was not good. Like, it was terrible. We had planned to go to this piano bar that we had gone to last DE when we had the whole staff, and for whatever reason, it's just different. Every DE is a little different, and we were all pretty tired, but nobody wanted to say that. Nobody wanted to like ruin somebody else's time. So we all just kind of like went with it without truly speaking what was true to ourselves, thinking that it was better for somebody else. And it was terrible. Like, we were exhausted. The service was okay, but like the singers were not great, and like it was just not a great time. Like, we made the best of it because we got a great team, but it was at one point in the weekend I was like, yeah, we shouldn't have done that. Like, we should have just went with what we were doing and had a better time. It wasn't until Sunday, literally on the drive home, that my employee was like, it's not vibes, it's innate. And I was like, girl, of course it is. It's innate. It allows us to hear innate and flow and go with innate, with our innate, but we can't hear it in our daily lives. So it was just this like aha moment that like DE allows us to hear and follow our innate. Period. That's what I want to do all day long. Just like hear and follow my innate. So that's what DE is for me in a lot of different ways, but it is a home. It's a home. And I love that we say like welcome home and like welcome back, because it doesn't matter how long you've been gone or how many years or whatever has gone on in your life, you can always come home. You can always come back. There's always open arms. There's always somebody that you can talk to and hug and love. And so I just love that about DE, that it is a home, it is a place. It doesn't change. 65 years it's been going on. It doesn't change. But for me, a big mission of mine, which by the way, this last weekend really challenged me to clarify that mission. And as an office, especially, we really super hyper focused in what our mission is. And our mission is to connect patients to themselves, to innate, then connect to our patients, and then connect with the greater world. So if we start at the end, we start with patients. As a chiropractor, we want to connect patients. And how do we do that? We identify and remove their subluxation. Well, how do we identify subluxation? How do we even start that process? Well, we train ourselves. And there's lots of different ways that we can train. We can train our technique. We can train our communication. We can train our delivery. We can train a lot of different things. But one of the most important things that we need to train, and DE has taught us, is our mindset. And Rebecca hit it on the head. We need to train our mindset. And having that mindset allows us to do all that we want to do and all that God has called us to do. So the training at DE trains the mindset, but you have to get clear. So getting clear is, for me, that little key that I was missing for like 10, 12 years in practice. And now I'm finally like, okay, really getting clear. And there's lots of ways that you can do it. So, you can pray. Lots of people pray. You get straight up quiet, which is really uncomfortable for most people. Meditation is a really good way of doing it. Actually, Pete Emlinger does a sacred silence meditation on Monday mornings, which if you're not part of, it's amazing. It's like $30 a month or something, stupid cheap. And it is such a wonderful way of starting your week with just clear intentions, getting quiet, and he guides you. So, I'm not lost in my head the whole time. But anyway, scroll. That's one way that you can do it. You can run. You can run it out. You can work it out. You can do lots of different things. Or you can come to DE and you get clear. just by sitting in the rooms, just by listening to the people around you, you get clear. Just last night in our Band of Brothers, I was really challenged by the speaker who was so focused and so into it, and to the point of almost like being rude to friends, because he's like, no, I'm here to work. And I'm in the speakers, and I'm in between the speakers. I'm upstairs in my room listening to the speakers again. And I'm making more notes, and I'm in here to work to get clear so that we can serve bigger. And that for me is the extrapolation point of like service. It's all about service. Give love and serve out of your own abundance without expectation of return. That's DE. And the way that we do that can change and differ, but it's all about service. It's all about giving out of your own abundance. And so you have to build your abundance. You have to have something to give from. You can't give from an empty cup. But the more that you serve God love chiropractic, the more that you're able to serve. I'm not even sure who even said it recently, but they were talking about the God family chiropractic concept and how God is within us. So serving and taking care of our vessels, taking care of ourselves, also serves God, which allows us to serve chiropractic in our families. And I never thought of it that way, because I was like, well, God first, and then I'm in there somewhere kind of a thing. But taking care of myself is serving God, is serving my patients, is serving my family. Not in a selfish way, but in an unselfish way. So especially as a woman, I'm very much like, no, you first. Everybody, I'll take care of you. And a chiropractor, we're empath. Like, we want to help and do for others, but we cannot give from this empty cup. So for me, DE is how I fill my cup, period. It allows me to go fill my cup, to be surrounded by love in excess. It's so abundant. And then to go back to my community and serve and give more of that. So we get there at DE with this space, this container that it is, and we're allowed to recalibrate, which again, I think that was Rebecca, which was amazing. And then we get to have fun, which is so cool. So Andy mentioned my son got to come to DE this last time, which he hasn't been in a little bit. And I swear I had more fun than he did. I had a blast because I was in a headspace that was able to receive his joy and how much joy that produced. I'm rolling in the pool with him. I'm trying not to drown each other. Like, he's drowning. He's big. He's 12, but he's big. Having so much fun. And that's amazing. And I want more of that, and I can now because I'm in a better place to be able to do that. So it's not just about serving a community. It's about serving a family. Tim Warner had said a while ago, he's like, my practice is not my priority right now. It's my family, because he's got 2 young kids. And that hit me like a ton of bricks, because I'm like, well, we have to serve our patients. We have to be there for our practice. We have to be there. And we are, but we also have to be there for our families. And seeing my son get older and enter into the teenage years, I'm like, he's my priority right now. I need to focus on him. And my patients understand that, and they support it, which is incredible. Because I am an open book, and I am able to communicate with them about my personal life to some degree. They're like, go have fun with your kid, take Saturday off, go play, which is incredible. So we get to have fun, we get to hug. We get to see people that we don't get to see very often. We get to connect. So connection is a big, big mission of mine. But DE allows us to connect with other chiropractors. And it also allows me a benchmark to, this is where I was at 3 months ago. This is where I was at 6 months ago. This is where we were at a year ago. And especially with my team going every year, it really allows us to compare ourselves to ourselves. I don't love the Instagram highlight reels and seeing all that other stuff. I am human, and I get jealous, and I'm like, man, I wish I had that X, Y, and Z, or I wish I could go do this X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, no, that's not my goal. That's not my priority. My priority is to be here. And then when I'm at DE, I'm like, oh, thank you. This is my priority. This is what I want to be like, because I'm surrounded by people who are doing what I want to do in a way that I want to do it, making money, spending time with their family, having fun, being childlike. That's what I want. And that room surrounds me in it. And I'm just, there's no other place like it. So I'm so thankful for it. Absolutely. So I just want to finish up with a couple little stories, because being in practice for a couple of years, I'm a pediatric focused practice now. And I'm digging into that more and more. But it is a huge passion. I was put on this planet Earth to adjust babies. I'm 100% sure about that. But it's challenging. It's a lot. And, you know, anyway, I have one family who, they have 9 children, 6 were foster, now they're in the process of being adopted. So major trauma. You know, there's a lot going on with all of these kids. But specifically, one of these little girls came in. She was 4 at the time. She could not walk. She could not talk. She was in diapers. She, because of trauma and abuse and some different things, was really, really off. And needed a lot of love, needed a lot of work. But clinically, she came in, she couldn't walk, so she came in with a stroller, and we got her. I adjust a lot of babies on the floor. I get on the floor with them. So I just got on the mat with her. And we got her sitting up. And I'm trying to assess and examine and do a bunch of different things. And I just go to touch her back. And spinal galant was so strong, she kind of flailed back and laid down, could not stay sitting up. And so we tested a couple of different things. And every time I just kind of rubbed her back, she laid down, could not remain sitting. So this poor girl needed a lot of work. And so we started adjusting her and talking with mom, foster mom, now adopted mom, but mostly just adjusting. You know, I don't do therapies in my office. We don't do different things. We adjust, right? We're a principal chiropractic office. So I'm adjusting. And I start seeing changes. Within one adjustment, that spinal galant went away and she could sit up. So by adjustment 2, I was able to do a full seated adjustment on her full spine. Just in one adjustment. So there's a huge potential for the body to heal when allowed. So she got started getting adjusted. She started to sit up on her own. She started to be more mobile. Then she started to walk. Then she started to communicate. Not full verbal, but communication. And I tell you what, getting a text from mom when little Abby is on a swing and she wasn't able to sit 2 months ago was like, it's incredible what we are blessed to be able to do to help not only people but babies, and just it's incredible. It's incredible the power that God has gifted us in these hands. So she is one that is just close to my heart. And actually, her brother, who was heavily, heavily neglected and abused, is so energetic, so full of life. He full verbal. He's like almost like no delays at this point in time. He says, Dr. Nicole, like every time he sees me, and it is the cutest thing when this child could not speak when I met him. And now he's, Dr. Nicole, I saw it, Dr. Nicole. And it's like, oh, it melts your heart. So yeah, those are a couple that are just close to my heart and I love. And my son did lock himself in his room, so he's not going on the call tonight. But yeah, that's about it. Oh, Liz mentioned, and I don't even know if it was Liz, but what I got out of Liz was a cuddle huddle. We do a cuddle huddle now, and I love just getting together with my team on a regular basis to have like each shift and have just a little moment where we can huddle and just love on each other. I don't even know why that came from Liz, but we do cuddle huddles now. So DE is amazing and chiropractic is incredible. And the more that you work at it, the more it gives back, and it's just incredible. So thank you for letting me share tonight. I appreciate you all. Oh, I can't hear you. You're muted.
How about if I do that? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can.
Now?
I can.
We good now?
Yep.
All right, good. Hey, I wrote some notes. Connection. Love that. Recalibration. Every 4 months, recalibrate and be able to go back and look at your benchmarks. I think everybody should do that. I mean, a lot of times like, oh yeah, what are we going to DE for? Well, yes, reconnection, loving ourselves. And just because sometimes we are so out there just giving. We sometimes got to pour back into ourselves and remember what our why is. That's huge. Serving, again, love yourself. Just right on, spot on, and have fun. That was great. I love it. Have fun. That was fantastic. Now listen,
what are you doing this for?
I got so excited to introduce you that I forgot to do our messages. So let's go backtrack a little bit. Everybody sign up for the next DE. It's August 16th and 19th, so you can come and have fun with us all and recalibrate, and you can get your benchmark. You can celebrate your victories. And also look at your connect teams. And again, obviously the best team is purple. Now Nicole may disagree with me, but the best team is purple. But get together with your teams and celebrate. If you have questions, reach out to everybody, because we want to be here between each and every session, each and every DE, till we can help you celebrate your victories or help you with any kind of challenge you have. And wonderful people like Nicole are here to help you as well. So again, great job tonight. Love and appreciate you. And we'll see you at the next DE, and we'll have our next speaker ready for next Tuesday. Love you all.
Love you.
Thank you.